That's the great part when you get a role, like you said, because I could see it in your eyes as an actor when you can have that moment where the writer and the actor have that ability to, here's the character I want to play, and you can lean into it, and it's so much more rich, and that's where you get a good character. I'm working on a project now, and I'm starting with a character I know, and it's so much easier to write. I don't know how a writer can. I mean, yes, you can imagine what they look like they do, and then you go to the casting, and that's why you see different things. But when you really have that talent in mind, and you know it, like you know something, you're like, oh, I have the role for you. And
exactly.
And those are 90% of the time, probably, whatever number percentage it is, but those are the breakout roles. That's when
and that is happening to me now, which is amazing. I had an amazing meeting today about another film. What is wonderful that I was going to tell you, based on what you're telling me, that doing also very rewarding story as an actor about real life stories or things that are really happening, but not fiction. But when you can work towards to really bring that message out there, I mean, it's very significant as an actor. And writers now, they're getting to know me, so they're bringing more projects to me that are already written for me. And that's great because it's a new experience for me, from being a dancer to being an actor and experiencing and working very hard to polish my craft and going to New York City and working with my acting coach. And you know, acting is not easy. So when you start getting credibility and writers, you know, seeing you as the character and writing for you is such a gift, especially when it's meaningful. And I've been so lucky because the stories that I'm able to work on now as an actor, they are all real life stories.
Yeah,
real
it's very
life
fulfilling,
stories.
I'm sure.
Very fulfilling. And actually, I'm also working now on another great story about Miami River Cops. It's a case that happened here in Miami in 1985. And that's going to be an incredible story.
Wow, I'm excited.
Bringing it to the screen, to the screen, especially here in Miami. So I might end up doing just like real life stories. Who knows?
That's
unless you have something for me.
There might have been a phone call we're chatting about. I might have had
Jade. You gotta work the magic.
Jade knows about it.
I do know things. I don't know if I can say things yet, but I do know things.
Victor, I'm going to interview you now. I'm going to interview you now.
I'm looking for Jade to save me while I have a drink with a question.
Well, Victor, you're so talented. Can you tell us a little bit what you're working on now?
No. Well, I will say this much, and I'm not deflecting the question, but I'm just saying when you said you made a point, which is you are going to New York. I know you've done a bunch of stuff in LA, and when I had the chance to work with you and we started working on that, I saw you. You know, there's a thing we all say: take direction, but it's not. I know you're smiling, and everybody in acting space knows that. Depending on what does that mean? How do you take direction as an actor, and what is the director trying to communicate? And therein lies the rub of how do you get. But what was interesting is, I'm very blessed to be able to work with really good talent, and sometimes I see talent that's working their way up, if you will, and they take a lot more direction. When we worked on that, when we pulled up earlier, which we'll have to go back to, maybe I'll post it. I'll post it in the link below so everybody can see it.
We didn't have any volume,
better yet.
I'm sure they want to hear it.
Right, so I'll put it in the link.
Okay.
On the link, and then you can click on it on YouTube, and you'll see the link.
Yes.
We'll make it. But we actually did that with a friend of mine who did the most ridiculous self-tape. When they asked you, tell me about yourself and stuff, he rambled on for literally 5 minutes about llamas and buttons on
created a
Gophers.
whole
He created an
business
entire
and-
business model because they just want to hear you talk and get to know you. And so that was the message with that. But same thing with this. I want to post that tape because you did such a great job, and everybody's seeing you here. But I think when they see that, that's you became a different character, and that comes
Yes,
from
I love
experience
it.
and time and a lot of practice, and that is acting, right? There's difference in when a role is kind of made for you or you fit the character versus you're working toward building a character, and that's what they call the breadth or the reach of an actor.
Right.
And it was enjoyable. So I have to give you a big compliment. I think the success you're having and booking and doing these things comes from your actual abilities, and you're driven. You're a hard worker. And people don't get that it's not easy.
Thank you for
lot
seeing
of
that, by
hard
the way,
work.
and saying that. I really appreciate it. I love the process. Like, I enjoy the process. Like, I have a rehearsal tomorrow on Zoom, and I'm already thinking tomorrow I'm going to wake up early, and I'm going to break down the scenes, and then I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to be ready. And then I just love that. I mean, I just love, like, that is my high.
Yeah.
Like, bringing the character to life. I just work on something with your friend Chris Perez, and I told Chris I was confused on this part of the script because he wrote something extremely difficult for me. But then I didn't discuss it with him the night before because he was so busy, and I felt that I had to say these lines, repeated lines, like the same thing, in different ways, like this way, and then the other way, and then this other way. And when we're filming, I'm like, so I'm OCD, and I'm saying these, all dress. He's like, no. You have a speech problem. You're like, all dress. I was like, what? I said, okay, all right. I did it, but I didn't have the time to do the research with
Right.
cases like that, individuals that have that sort of problem
Right.
and speech problems, and then I was like, I have to do it again because I didn't have
Right. You wanted to research
I didn't do a research. I didn't have any triggers that I can, that I can be allowed to use them. I just. So I really love to be prepared, and I really love the work, the process, and working with my acting coach in New York, Jay Goldenberg. He teach me that, to be prepared, to work hard, and that is just
And that's
so good. It feels so great.
Yeah, when you're prepared and you work hard and then you have the opportunities presented, it's just the perfect formula there.
It's different when you have a background and you went to performing arts since you were very young. Like, you want to do that. That's exactly why you are doing it. That's why you want to act. I mean, you want to prepare. You want to make sure that you can bring your best, so everyone is happy.
yes.
And you show your best work to the director, to the writer, and everyone is like, wow, because it's a teamwork.
Yeah.
And a lot of people put a lot of effort on this type of work, and investors, and,
Yes.
and everyone, and just being ready as an actor is the best thing you can do.